Yo, what is going on YouTube? I appreciate y'all tuning back into another video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about how to wheelie all different types of bikes, from small bikes to big bikes. Does not matter what you're on. Everything that I'm going to say in this video is all tips, all aspects that you can apply to your wheelie game and get you guys moving forward. Check it out, man. That's how you know we're in Kansas. I have been getting an absolute ton of DMs on my Instagram, mainly asking how I do my wheelies and if I could make a video over it, so I figured why not. It's actually long overdue. I've been wanting to do a video like this for quite a while. So we're going to talk about how I do my wheelies, how I started, and how I got to where I'm at now. So if you guys are newer to the bike scene and haven't got full comfortability of your bike, I definitely suggest learning the bike before you start bringing that front wheel off the ground. I know one thing for sure is when I talk to a lot of people about the wheelies, and mainly to people who haven't started wheelie yet, who want to wheelie, is the fear factor. A lot of us are scared of looping the bike, which is completely a normal fear. You're bringing the bike up in a vertical position, so definitely going to feel a little bit different. But I'm also going to show you how to do wheelies in a safe manner. Obviously it's dangerous, but there are ways that we can go about it that's going to put ourselves in a little bit safer situation, as opposed to just jumping straight into the wheelie and giving it all power. By the end of this video, you guys should have enough confidence to go out and do a wheelie, and you guys will know how to do a wheelie at that. So first things first, we're going to talk about the clutch up wheelie. If you guys aren't familiar with the clutch up, it's basically you pull your clutch in, you rev the bike, you drop the clutch like that. You want to do it in that exact motion, but a lot quicker. It should look something like this. I'm showing you guys the hand move of the clutch because it's something I struggled with. Pulling in the clutch and letting it out smoothly is something that you kind of already used to, so it's something that you just do naturally and automatically. That's not the case for the clutch ups. You guys want to make sure you're pulling that clutch in, revving, and dropping that clutch immediately. Also, when you guys are going for wheelies, definitely make sure your traction control's off. I got my traction control and my ABS off. So I'm going to demonstrate real quick a clutch up, how I do my clutch ups, and then we'll break down the kind of the fundamentals of how I did that. So if you guys noticed, I revved the bike up pretty high to bring the bike up to balance point. How you should be starting your clutch up wheelies is you should be getting a feel for it. And what I mean by that is we go for little baby clutch ups. After we perfected the clutch up motion of pulling in, gassing, letting out immediately, we want to start working on the baby clutch ups, which is basically us getting a feel for how our bike reacts to different power levels. If you guys are on a Ninja 250, a 600, a 750, it's going to be different. It's the same aspect, but we're giving a different amount of power depending on what gear we're in. So now we're going to go for some baby clutch ups to see when the bike comes up at. Okay, so we started about 5,500, went up to about 8. The bike didn't come up much. Let's go a little higher. We'll start at about 6 and we'll go up to about 9. Okay, so right there we went to about 10 and we seen the front wheel come up. That's good. If you guys are bringing the front wheel up, that's the first part of doing the wheelie, starting the wheelie. Practice makes perfect with everything in life, man, so just going at it over and over and over, you guys will get better. I want you guys to really start at my RPMs to see how much gas I'm giving it. About mid-range RPMs on a 1000cc bike in second gear, and we're giving it that much RPMs to get it to come up. Obviously, if you guys are doing it in first gear, it's going to come up a little bit easier because obviously we have more power down in first gear. I'm going to talk about power-ups today, not an absolute ton, because this bike really isn't meant for power-ups unless we're going from first gear. If we compare it to a bike like the R1 that has so much low-end torque all over the place, power-ups are a whole different story. I'll show you guys what I mean by a second gear power-up. I really got to yank the bars up to get it to come up. So I personally love clutch ups because it brings the bike up so quickly to where you want it at. And like I said, if we do the baby clutch ups, we can kind of learn where we need to rev the bike at to get it to come up how we want it. We're not just going to immediately clutch up and bring the bike up to where, you know, we're in a potential state of looping the bike. Like I said, that's one of the biggest things people talk to me about. They come up to me when they're having questions about wheelies, is the fear of looping the bike. So with this safe practice, one, you're learning your bike, and two, you're doing it in a safer manner to where you're not forcing it. If you guys are new to the channel, this is my bike, a 2018 S1000RR, and this is what we're doing the wheelies on today. A little buggy because we're out here on the back roads, but just wanted to show you real quick. Let's go ahead and hop back into the video. So yeah, with the baby clutch ups, just keep going more and more until you guys can bring that tire up more and more. When I first started doing wheelies, I could barely get that tire off the ground. It took me practice and practice, you know, being more comfortable and confident with the bike. So yeah. And once you guys get really good at the wheelies, man, be able to do the stand-ups, steer the bike how you want it. Absolute blast, man. There's one thing on the bike that is addicting as hell, and it is wheelies. I don't want to be that guy that says go out and do a wheelie, but man, if you guys listen to what I say though and go out there, practice them smartly, you guys will have a much higher success rate. And like I said, you guys are going to be a lot safer instead of just going into it blind as hell. Let's go ahead and do a little power wheelie from first so you guys can see how easy it is I'm talking about. If you guys are wanting to do power wheelies, if you're on a bike like mine, an S1000 that doesn't have a ton of low end torque, it's definitely a lot easier from first. I have noticed though, bigger guys, it's a little easier for them to rock it back. Like I said, I love clutch ups is because I don't have to fight the pulling it back, you know, or starting from a perfect RPM. I can go from anywhere and get a nice little clutch up. And to talk about how I started doing wheelies, man, I really just went for it. And that's one thing that you guys are going to have to do. Learning the bike and knowing how the bike reacts to different types of power levels in every situation is going to be one of your guys' main sources of confidence. And again, another bonus to the clutch ups is, like I said, you can go from anywhere all over the rev range. I'm at second gear, 5,000 RPMs, 45 miles per hour, and the bike comes right up. Exactly how I want it. Also, another thing I should be mentioning too is when you guys are practicing your wheelies and you start to lift that front wheel up higher and higher and higher, make sure you guys are leaving a couple thousand of RPMs at the end of your gear to bring that bike down smoothly. Obviously, we want to ride a wheelie longer and longer every time, but we still want to make sure that we're respecting the bike and being nice to that front end, because fork seals, they are cheap, but taking the forks off, if you're not familiar with how to do that or doing that job, it does get expensive. Let's go ahead and rip another wheelie for you guys. Get a little one-hander to the stand-up, steer the bike back in my lane, and then we set it down slowly. Notice how I gassed it really hard when I set it down right there, so it's super butter when it comes down on that front end. The bike will thank you later for that, trust and believe. That dude came out to check it out, just keep doing wheelies back and forth. Also, if we're talking about how to wheelie other bikes, smaller bikes, 250s, 300s, 600s, it is the same aspect. Most likely you guys are going to have to start from a different gear, like first gear, to really get that bike to come up. You guys can still wheelie the bike on a 600 in second and third gear, it's just going to be a lot harder. You're going to have to give it a lot more RPMs until you figure out what works for the bike. Lower CCs, you will have to clutch up harder. And I'll show you a perfect example of what I mean by that in just a second when I wheelie the bike in second compared to me wheeling the bike in third. So I'll show you guys real quick a second gear wheelie compared to a third gear wheelie. And then now, if we go from third gear, see, we're still able to do the wheelie, we just gotta work harder for it. And you guys can basically compare that to wheeling a big bike to a smaller bike. You just have to work a little bit harder for it. The bike will still come up. I knew he wanted to see it. I knew he wanted to see a wheelie, so we had to give it to him. Look at that absolutely beautiful sunset over the Kansas cornfields. Out here on the back roads, man, best place to practice, staying away from cars as much as I possibly can, as well as people. I know the wheelies are dangerous, and they look dangerous, because they are, but I definitely have a lot of control over this bike after doing these wheelies for 2 years. And I'm definitely nowhere near where I want to be. The point to life is we're always improving ourselves on every single aspect, and still 2 years later, it may look like I have these wheelies down to perfection, but I am still learning, and I'm still getting better every single day. The object is to never get comfortable and always aim for improvements. And again, with these wheelies, a lot of it is confidence within yourself. If you go out there and you have fear that you're going to loop the bike, or you're scared of doing these wheelies, it's going to have a big play in how you do the wheelies. If you go out there knowing that you have comfortability of the bike, you know how the bike reacts in every type of power level, then you guys are going to be a lot better off. And again, how I got so good is I just went out there and practiced. So yeah. Definitely got the stand-ups on full control now. Something about the sit-downs when I wheelie and my bike likes to curve a little bit to the right. Drop a comment and let me know if your guys' bike does the same thing when you're wheeling. I have literally had that problem since day one of having this bike. I've changed the chain, I've done sprockets, I've done new tires. The bike still wants to curve to the right when I'm sitting down. Well, there you guys have it, man. Sun's starting to set. I'm gonna wrap up the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video and took some tips from this. Let me know what you guys thought about the video down in the comments below. Like I said, if you guys take all these tips and apply them into your wheelie game, you guys definitely will improve. And like I said, confidence is everything, man. So appreciate y'all tuning into the video, and I'll see y'all boys in the next one. Peace.